Have you ever faced a situation where your form just doesn't seem to work as expected? It's frustrating, right? If you're struggling with a required select field in your code, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to tackle the issue of a select field not working properly. I completely understand how annoying it is when you think you've done everything right, only to find out that a simple required field isn't functioning. You're definitely not alone in this. Many developers encounter this issue. Here's the specific situation we're looking at. One user recently asked, "Why is my select field not working with the required attribute?" They shared their code snippet, which includes a select element that should be mandatory, but isn't behaving as expected. Sound familiar? Let's dive into this together. So, what could be causing this issue? The required attribute should work, but sometimes there are small mistakes that can lead to unexpected behavior. We'll break it down step by step to help you identify the problem. And don't go anywhere. I've got a crucial tip at the end that will help you ensure your forms work flawlessly every time. To address the issue with the required attribute not functioning, the user should first ensure that the default option in the select element has a value that is not empty. This is crucial for the required validation to work properly. Next, the user should verify that the form is being submitted correctly. This means ensuring that the form tag is present and that the method is set to post or get, depending on the intended action. Now the user should check for any JavaScript that might be interfering with the form submission. If there are any scripts that prevent the default action, they need to be reviewed and adjusted accordingly. Finally, the user should test the form in different browsers to ensure that the required attribute is functioning as expected. Sometimes, browser compatibility can affect form validation. Did you know? The required attribute was introduced in HTML5, and it has made form validation much easier for developers. It's a game changer. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution suggests adding both required and value attributes to your select element. This user provides an example where the select element is marked as required, and the first option is disabled and selected by default, prompting the user to make a choice. Now, let's dive into a different answer from another user. An alternative solution suggests changing the required attribute to true. Instead of using required equals required, try using required equals true. This might resolve the issue. Let's take a look at another answer from another user. One user suggests that the required attribute may not work in all browsers since it's based on HTML5 validation. They recommend using jQuery validation for more reliable results. Now, let's see a response from a different user. An alternative solution suggests that the required attribute on the select element may not work if the first option has the selected attribute. By removing the selected attribute, both required and multiple attributes function correctly. Here's the crucial tip I promised. Always validate your forms, both on the client side and the server side. This ensures that even if something goes wrong in the browser, your server will catch it. And there you have it. Your select field should be working as intended now. Remember, double-checking your code and testing across browsers can save you a lot of headaches. If you found this helpful, hit the subscribe button for more tips and don't miss our bonus tip on form validation best practices.